Okay. Sorry, I was yawning. We're going to talk more about Buddhism today and how it spread throughout ancient India. So, I'm going to share my screen, and the assignment we're going to do is on Google Classroom for us. Okay. So, under Social Studies in Google Classroom, an assignment posted about 10 minutes ago called, it's this, Ashoka and the Spread of Buddhism. Let me reload it, and hopefully I can see it. There we go. So Ashoka and the Spread of Buddhism. And if you remember, Ashoka is the guy who kind of created Buddhism. So this is how he spread it throughout ancient India, basically. So you're going to need to open both of these. The Google Doc, the one that's blue, is the reading that you're going to need. And then the Google Slides that's yellow is where we're going to fill out our information. Okay, so I'm going to open both of those up. Have you guys open it up as well. Okay, now if you notice, and if you can see on my screen too, it says that there's a lot of people up here. That's because we're all sharing this document. So if I were to start typing something, everybody would be able to see it on their document too, right? So don't type on this because this is the only way for us to get the reading on there without it messing up. Yeah. But you should be able to see that other kids are up here. Honestly, I could probably click on it and see who's listening. See, look, I can tell who's on it and who's not. So go ahead and get on this document as well as open up.
It says I'm not on there?
Huh?
It says I'm not on there?
No, I don't see you.
I'm on the thing.
Okay, that's fine. I assume
wrong one.
Oh, wrong one. Okay, there you go. So the other one, the second one, whoa, where'd it go? There it is. The Google Slide, when you open that one, it's all your own. When you type on the Google Slide, nobody else is going to be able to see it. But the Google document with all of the article on it, you'll be able to see it. See, now we can see that Lauren was typing. Guys, don't be typing in it. I can see it. Leave it there. Okay, just stay here, have it open. Please and thank you. Trying to sneak in your chats. Okay. Yeah, I can see it. You guys can see it. Yeah. So, give you another second to get both of those open and that to go by. Okay. So on the Google slide, the one that's your own, so the first slide says that each bubble will have multiple boxes. You're going to have to copy and paste each box and the line to create new ideas and new key points. And that's in reference to slide number 2. We are going to be talking about Ashoka and how Buddhism spread, right? And there's 4 questions here, which you can't read very well, so we're going to zoom in. The 4 questions are, number 1, what caused Ashoka to change his way of life? Number 2, how did Ashoka incorporate Buddhist teachings in the government? Number 3, how did people respond to Ashoka's emphasis of Buddhist teachings? And number 4, how did Ashoka help spread Buddhism throughout India and the rest of the world? So we have these 4 questions here. And notice there's only 1 box for each. I would like there to be at least 2 boxes for each. So you're finding 2 things for each question, because there's plenty in there. So what we're going to do, you can click on the actual box itself, and then right-click to copy and paste it. So you'll copy, right-click to paste, and then just move it over so that we have 2 boxes, 2 red boxes. If you have a Chromebook, to copy, you like double-click with your fingers. Good, if you don't know. So you double-click to be able to get the drop-down menu. So we're going to copy and paste all 4 of the boxes. I don't know. Are you doing the double clicky thingy? All right, I'll come look at it in a second. You got it? So we're going to copy and paste all 4 colors. So you should have 2 red boxes, 2 blue boxes. You can copy the lines too if you want to. That's up to you. But I can tell by the color of the boxes. And then down here we have a green box that we'll copy and paste. Huh? You don't have to do the box. You just have to copy and paste it. Hang on, let me finish mine and then I'll come around and help. So we're copy and pasting all the boxes. So you should have 8 boxes total. I don't know why it didn't start off this way, but that way we're finding 2 for each of the questions. Okay.
Copy and paste every box?
Yeah, so you have 8 total.
Done.
Okay, up and down. We're gonna wait just a second. Get everybody on the same page. Yeah, copy and paste.
No.
How do I copy and paste it?
Yeah, that's all in there.
Yeah, Control C works too. Control V. Okay, so in order to copy and paste it, oh my gosh. You have to click on the box so that it's highlighted, and then you right click. So you click using the right side of your mouse or the right side of the keypad. If you have a Chromebook, you have to double tap with your fingers on the mouse pad, and it should come up with this list of things. You hit copy.
I double tap in the middle.
Yeah, that works too. And then anywhere on the Google slide, you can right click again so that the list comes up, and then you paste. And you can put it wherever you need to. And if it's really, really, really not working and I'm not there, I can't help you fix it. If that's really happening, you can write number 1 and answer the question. And if you have to, write number 2 and answer the question. So at least have 2 things for each. I guess that would have been easier, huh? Oh, well, I didn't think that one through until right now. But if it copy and paste, then you can have 2 boxes. Awesome. If you have to put number 1 and number 2 for your answers in the boxes, that works as well. Okay? I'll delete this box. You good? Yeah. Okay, so how are we doing? Doing good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like most people got it before I did.
All right. We'll wait about 1 more minute, let people get those boxes. If anything, you can write number 1 and number 2 in your boxes. I'm going to check attendance on the Google Meet really quick. Looks a little low, lower than normal.
There's only one person?
No, there's 11.
Oh, there's only one channel. My bad.
All right.
That's the wrong one.
All right. So now that we have these boxes and our 4 questions, we're going to go ahead and start reading through. There's, I think, 6 pages of information. I don't know. I'm going to read them with you, and we'll decide where things can go and how to organize it. But we're going to answer these 4 questions and get 2 answers for each of the questions. So we should have 8 total. Okay? So let's go ahead and read our first one. So if you go onto the Google Doc first, there's a big number 1. We're going to start there. I'll read it to you guys. I think we can see both of them. Okay, so number 1. I'm going to take this off while I read. The Second Mauryan Empire, Bindusara, ruled for 25 years. He warred occasionally, so he went to war, reinforcing his authority with India, and he acquired the title of the Slayer of Enemies, which is quite intense. Then in the year 273 BCE, he was succeeded by his son Ashoka, who was in his first 8 years of rule, did what was expected of him. He looked after the affairs of the state and extended his rule where he could. So he was just a normal emperor doing what he needed to do. Around the year 260 BCE, Ashoka fought great battles and imposed his rule on people southward along the eastern coast of India, an area called Kalinga. The sufferings created by the war in Kalinga greatly disturbed Ashoka. He found the relief in Buddhism and became an emperor with values that differed from those of his father, grandfather, and others. So this actually answers one of our questions on the thing. We could probably go back and answer it. So on our page, we have number 1, what caused him to change his way of life? What's one thing that caused him to change his way of life here? Make that a little bit bigger. So if we look at that reading, he used to just like go to war, do what he was supposed to do, and then he found Buddhism. Why? Why did he decide to do Buddhism? He wanted peace, but why? You're on the right track. It's part of the second paragraph. Oh, I hear the chat. What does it say? He's tired of war. Good. So he's tired of the war. He wants peace. Again, why? What are you doing? You don't need a pencil. We're doing it online. Put it away. Yeah. He found relief in Buddhism, but again, why? Look at the paragraph or the sentence before that.
I don't know. Because you go back with the this junk is not letting me set it. Well, you know, greatly there.
Yeah. So Ashoka he didn't like the fact that the war caused suffering for people. I will be there in a second, Yoshi. I can't do 8 things at once. Yeah, trying to teach you, trying to listen to people talk as well. So I'll be there in a second. So he changed his way of life because Ashoka did not like to see the war's suffering. Yeah. I went up to like 22 so that you guys could see it better. So you guys can make it as big as you need to, as long as it fits in the box. $22. So he didn't like to see that people were suffering from the war. Okay?
I got it. I told you already. We said, oh, it's living inside now.
Okay, go ahead and get that one typed out. And if you can think of anything else that could go in that second box of why he wanted to change his way of life, go for it. I'm probably not going to give you guys answers from here on out. That's like too, like, I'm not going to type it all out for you anymore. So try to see if there's a second one in there. Maybe on the next page there's more about it.
I got it.
Good. All right. I'm going to leave this. Well, we'll come back to it if you still need to type it. I'm going to go look and read the second section so that maybe there's more that we can use for it. So if we're back on the Google slide or the whatever it's called, I'm going to scroll down to number 2 right there. Number 2. That one says, in the years to come, Ashoka mixed his governing style with the Buddhists' original desire to see suffering among people mitigated, and mitigated means to be stopped. So he wants to see people suffering less. Ashoka had wells dug. So do you guys know what a well is, right? It's
Yeah.
like a hole in the ground that has water in it, so it's fresh water. He created irrigation canals, which is like plumbing in ancient India, and roads were constructed to help those in the lowest of the caste system. Do you guys remember the caste system and who was the lowest? What were they called?
Untouchables.
The untouchables, the people that they thought were like the dirty people in ancient India, didn't deserve things. But he wanted to help these people as well. He had rest houses built along the roads, hospitals built, public gardens planted, and medicinal herbs grown. Ashoka maintained his army, and he maintained the secret police and network of spies that he had inherited as a part of his extensive and powerful bureaucracy. Following the gruesome battles at Kalinga, which the horrors converted Ashoka to Buddhism, Ashoka opened his arms to the Kalinga people, stating, "All men are my children, and I, the king, forgive what can be forgiven." I think that's all for that one. So if we go back to our thing, do we have anything else we could add to what caused him to change his way of life?
He wanted people to live better and he doesn't want to see people suffer.
Okay, so
That's
there's
why he made that stuff.
good. So our second one there could be, come on. He wanted people to live better lives, right? Okay, so that could be number 2. Sorry, I was just looking down below. And then based on those 2 paragraphs that I just read about what he did as the emperor and the things that he can create, you could probably fill out these 2 blue boxes. How did he incorporate Buddhist teachings, aka wanting people to suffer less, into the government? How did he help the people of ancient India, basically? So what are 2 ways that he helped the people of ancient India? That's the blue boxes. Just write it in the blue boxes. But you are correct, yes. Okay. So I'll type that in the blue ones.
So type how he helped the other people have a better life.
Yep. And so for the first box, you're going to type 1 way that he helped people have a better life. And then in the second box, you're going to give me another way he helped people get a better life. Okay, so basically the blue boxes are 2 reasons or 2 ways that he helped improve people's lives. I'll give you guys a few minutes to work on those ones.
Let me just write down the sentence that you wrote in the first box for the blue.
No, you have to give me ways that he helps people. You have to answer the question. You need to type it. Type those out, please. Yeah.
One way each one.
Yeah, so one way that he helps improve people's lives and then another way. So 2 total.
I got one now. There's some weird word. I don't know if it's like precision, what is it? I don't know how to do that.
Okay, about 1 more minute and then we'll look at our next part. Yeah, Lauren, for number 2, both reasons are the same because I want you to come up with 2 reasons. So one reason in the first box about how he helped people, and then in the second box, another reason for how, their way.
Can they be the same from the passage?
Yeah, they should be from the passage, yep.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Charlie? Irrigation canals are like one thing. It's like plumbing in ancient India.
Wow. I got one down for the blue one on the other side.
Good, so we can get another one. We'll do about 2 more minutes and then we will look at the next 2 questions or keep reading.
Good job, Miss. Everybody take climbing for the student.
Were we supposed to write a title for this one on the first
No.
slide?
No, there's no titles.
Okay.
All right. If you need to finish out these top ones after, that's totally fine. I'm going to go back over to this one. And we're going to go ahead and look at number 3. So if you scroll down to page number 3, we have some more stuff here. What's our next question? Question number 3. How did people respond to Ashoka's emphasis of Buddhist teaching? So how are people going to respond to him trying to force Buddhism on them, basically? So let's read this paragraph. It says, Ashoka converted his foreign policy from expansionism, which means conquering other people's territories. So instead of going in and taking over countries, he went from that into coexisting with other countries, so living peacefully side by side. So he decided that instead of conquering everybody and taking over all their land, we're going to live side by side and trade and be peaceful. So he did that so that he could have peace with his neighbors. In keeping with his Buddhism, so his religion, he announced that he was determined to ensure the safety, peace of mind, and happiness of all beings in his realm. He announced that he would now strive for conquest only in matters of the human spirit and the spread of the right conduct among people. He warned other powers that he was not only compassionate but also powerful. So basically, this is his reasons about why he wants to do this. Does it really talk about how people reacted to it yet? How people
No, not
reacted
really.
to it?
No.
No, not yet. So let's go ahead and keep reading. Doesn't really talk about how they reacted to him. See what we got here. On page 4, Ashoka's wish for peace was undisturbed by famines or natural disasters. So that means that there were no famines or natural disasters during his reign as emperor. But also during his reign, no neighboring kings tried to take any of his territory. So nobody tried to conquer India. This era of peacefulness, led by Ashoka, caused many to be intrigued and even fervent supporters of Buddhist principles. So this, I guess it's fervent, means that they are really big supporters of Buddhism. Yeah. Did you double click? Double click in it? It's okay. As long as it's there, you'll be fine. So people were really intrigued by Buddhism because it kept this time of peace for them for a long time. And then our next paragraph said, the resulting peace helped extend economic prosperity. Ashoka relaxed the harsher laws that his grandfather made. I don't know how to say that. He gave up the kingly pastime of hunting, and in its place, he went on religious pilgrimages. He began supporting philanthropies, which means you're donating money to help others, and he converted many to Buddhism, advocating for nonviolence, vegetarianism, charity, and tenderness to all living things. So, do these couple of paragraphs give us reason how people reacted to Buddhism? You have one. Okay. So we could at least get one in there. So for the green boxes on the bottom, so again, I'm going to write the same thing in each box, but you guys are going to need to do your own thing. Yes, Charlie? Okay. So the first one is one way people responded to Buddhism. So how did people respond to the fact that he was Buddhist and how he ran things in his country? Sure, write that down. And then our next one is very similar. Another way people responded. I still responded wrong on the other one. Buddhism. So again, you're going to be typing out your own thoughts on this. How did people respond to Buddhism in ancient India? Okay, I think you can probably find both ways in those two paragraphs there. How did people respond to it? Hmm.
That's what they did that.
Well, it's not necessarily what people did to him. It's just how did they feel about Buddhism? Did they like it? Did they hate it? Did they start to follow him? Things like that.
But all of them you support him?
Yeah.
But it doesn't say anything about that.
Yeah, it does. On page 4.
Oh, I was looking on page 3.
No, page 4.
I was on page 3, it says 3 up here.
No, the pages don't correspond to all of the numbers. I'll give you about one more minute and then we will look at our last one. Alrighty, and our last couple boxes there. This time, number 4, how did Ashoka help spread Buddhism through India and the rest of the world? So, I want to say it was what, in that PowerPoint, 1 million people? No, 1 billion people are Buddhist now, right? Something like that. It's a lot of people. So it spread throughout the world pretty quickly, and a lot of people follow this religion. So we need to be looking for how did he spread it throughout the world? That's where we're looking for in these next couple paragraphs. So let's look at number 5. Okay, this I'm just going to read it and look for ways in which he spread the religion. So Ashoka had messages cut into rocks and pillars at strategic locations throughout his empire to communicate to passerbys the way of compassion. Messages such as listen to your father and mother and be generous with your friends and relatives were carved on paths throughout the empire for travelers to notice. In his proclamations, he hoped to show his people the Buddhist way. He also hoped that this would help his own soul after his death. Ashoka even went so far as to honor Siddhartha Gautama, the father of Buddhism, by carving tributes to him into stone located throughout the empire. In at least one of the stones, Ashoka described Siddhartha Gautama not merely as a teacher, but as the Lord Buddha. So this whole paragraph tells you one way that he would spread Buddhism. What would be that way? Okay, so in a purple box, and so describe one way that he spread Buddhism around the world, or at least in ancient India. Okay. Give me about 30 more seconds and then I will go read page 6 for you.
Do we do it in both of them?
Yeah, so in the second one, the second purple box will be another way that he would spread Buddhism.
Is there another box we have to write in next? Is there another box we write in next?
Nope, we just have the 8 boxes that we're writing in.
Oh, so we just listen now?
Yeah, I'm going to read through the last couple. I'll give you guys a few minutes to finish it up, and then we're done. So here's number 6, page 6. This one says, Ashoka's support of Buddhism gave it more respect, and in his empire, Buddhism spread around. More people became vegetarian, which you should all be vegetarian. We'll go. Never mind. And perhaps there was some increase in compassion towards others. Mindful of the close ties between Buddhism and Hinduism, he claimed that the Brahmins' creed deserved respect, and he included Brahmins among his officials. Those in the Brahmin caste were considered very connected to the Hindu religion. I'll in a second. Not all Brahmins returned Ashoka's kindness. They were displeased with Ashoka's campaign against their sacrificial slaughtering of living creatures. Ashoka's opposition to such sacrifices did please many among India's peasantry, whose flocks had long been plundered by local rulers seeking animals for their sacrifices. So this one doesn't necessarily talk about how he spread Buddhism, but how people reacted to him, if you need more for how people reacted. Some people liked him, some people didn't, right? Yeah, Sharon, if you're done with all 8 boxes and you filled them all out, you can turn it in and then just finish listening to the last little bit of this, and then you guys will be good to go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you finish all 8 boxes, you can get it turned in. Okay, I'll give you about 1 minute here if you have anything you're typing up, and then I will read that last part as well. Huh? For which one? You can probably find it on page 5. We haven't read page 7 yet. There might be some on page 7. Oh, Lonnie's pescatarian. Good. I'm a vegetarian, so we're kind of close. I just don't eat fish as well. Pescatarian doesn't. She'll eat fish, but she won't eat other meat. Yeah, vegan's a step farther than vegetarian. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and
meat.
Say it again, Elijah.
When was the last time you ate meat?
The last time I ate meat, about 2 years ago. I became a vegetarian in September of 2018, so it's been a little over 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not that hard. I mean, I liked steak and bacon and all that stuff too. I just don't eat it anymore. Oh, vegan hot dogs are really gross. I don't like vegan hot dogs. That's like the one vegan thing that I'm like, vegan hot dogs are gross. But anyway, let's go ahead and read our last part before we get into a discussion about veganism.
What about the Whopper? Impossible.
I eat the Impossible Whopper from Burger King. That's a meat-free burger. It's a meatless patty. They don't have one. Okay, number 7. Let's read this last part. It might not be, but I'm still not going to eat it. That sounds even worse than being a vegetarian. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this number 7. Page 7 here will probably help you if you are not done with number 2 on that last box. This one will probably help you get that last box filled up. So number 7, Ashoka sent missionaries to spread the teachings of Buddha to the kingdoms of southern India, to parts of Kashmir in the northwest, to Persia, Egypt, and Greece. But as Christians were to learn, old habits were not easily broken. Many agreed with Buddhist teachings on the treatment towards others, but nearly all were unwilling to relinquish their faith. Buddhism outside his kingdom only took root on the island of Lanka. So he still tried to spread it past India. How did he try and spread it? And that'll be your answer to that last box.
Were they still doing smoke festivals back then?
They probably weren't doing them at all. Elijah, what was your question?
I think the one that makes the whole.
You think so? Good. So by now you have all the information you need to finish all 8 boxes. And once you finish, you can turn it in. Those of you that are online, you would be good to go. And we will see you guys at 8:30 tomorrow.